YouTube is home to billions of videos. Most are harmless, like makeup tutorials, cooking tips, gaming streams, but buried in that endless stream of content are the videos people can't forget nor explain. The videos that disturb, confuse, and terrify. From creators who seem to be silently begging for help, to cursed channels that warped the site itself. These channels unsettled millions of viewers and sparked endless debate. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And today, we're diving into some disturbing YouTube mysteries. Kate Yup. When Kate Yup first appeared in 2018, the videos all followed a familiar pattern: silent eating, heavy portions, and seafood platters. As time passed though, small things in those uploads caught viewers' attention, and the channel became a recurring subject of online investigation. It first appeared in 2018 and quickly gained a substantial following when the mukbang niche was at its peak. Notably, there was very little speaking at all, but there were frequent on-screen text captions. Most of the time, it was just very loud chewing sounds and was just mostly focused on the food. She quickly amassed a large subscriber base, and many of her videos have millions of views. One of her first videos that drew significant attention was the video titled 11 Pounds Salmon! It featured her eating an enormous portion of salmon in just one sitting, and she would continue to upload these seafood videos frequently throughout the following years, often focusing on the size in her thumbnails and titles. However, some viewers began noticing some strange things. There were physical marks on her skin, unusual subtitles, and odd edits. There were bruises and missing teeth, and some edits looked like it was her trying to put out a hidden message. Third-person comments that were pinned on her video made it seem like she was being controlled by someone, and some fans were seriously concerned about her welfare. Sometimes, her captions, which had strange grammar and spelling, had weirdly capitalized spellings that sometimes spelled help or SOS. In one instance, a sequence of taps on the bowl kind of resembled the Morse code for SOS. Whether accidental or real, it definitely drew the viewer's attention. Another detail was that she rarely ever showed her full face. She usually either wore a mask, sunglasses, or even sometimes a blindfold. There were no real details about who she was, and her identity was never publicly confirmed by mainstream media. Communication with her audience was also limited to only the subtitles on her videos and pinned comments. Due to growing public concern, Kate Yup posted a video titled "I Am Alive," which was a direct response to her audience's concerns. Strangely, she still did not speak directly to the audience and continues in her usual mukbang style, eating a large seafood platter. Instead, she talks to them using the on-screen captions, reassuring them that she was fine and not in any danger. The tone was calm, but firm, as if she wanted to stop any more rumors about her safety. The fact that she doesn't talk herself makes us question whether she actually saw the comments or whether the person who is controlling simply told her to continue as normal and posted with these subtitles, pretending to be her, and many viewers remained unconvinced. People began to discuss on Reddit and other forums and came up with several theories. One of the most widely believed is that it's just an act. According to them, she just started with normal videos, but as people began to notice very small details like a bruise that had nothing strange behind them, and saw the opportunity to get more views. Basically, she's playing into the wild theories to gain a few more views. However, she did randomly stop posting regularly on November 10th, 2019. She did make a lot of money through her millions of views on each video she uploaded, so maybe she felt she had enough to last and quit. Interestingly, she always likes the comments of a person named Moxie Beast, who also does similar ASMR style mukbang videos, and also doesn't show her eyes. She also stopped posting recently, and some Reddit users think that they both agreed to cooperate for both of them to gain some views. Again though, why would they stop posting after getting so much attention? Another theory is that she was actually kidnapped by someone and forced to make these videos by her kidnapper. One Reddit user thinks that she looked like a missing girl named Carly Goose, who went missing in October of 2018. However, Kate Yup started uploading in August of 2018, so they theorized that the kidnapper had already made a channel with a few videos and had kidnapped her, recorded the videos, and replaced the footage in the original videos with the new ones. One of the more realistic theories is that she had bulimia, which is an eating disorder characterized by regular overeating and then self-induced vomiting, strict dieting, and extreme exercise due to their concern with their body weight. This could explain how she's able to eat such large amounts of food while still maintaining a normal weight, as later videos show, since people with bulimia purge after eating. It would also account for her decayed and missing teeth, since the stomach acid rots her teeth. Particularly, there are several videos where she has a toothbrush taped to her arms, which is a common method of forcing themselves to throw up after they eat a lot. But then, why would she display it so prominently in her videos? She could just put it to the side or not even have it in the video in the first place. Maybe it is a half-hearted cry out for help or treatment, as another user thinks, while still staying anonymous to protect her job and family. As of today, the channel still remains online and even started posting somewhat frequently a couple years back. Her teeth are all rotten and falling out, presumably from the excessive eating, and she started a GoFundMe to help her fix it. It could also be a ransom if you believe that theory that she was kidnapped, or it might be genuinely a call for help. It continues to be a disturbing mystery. We will probably never know whether she was forced into it either by some kidnapper or her own eating disorder. Before it became an internet curiosity, I Feel Fantastic was just one track in a small collection of videos featuring Tara the Android, released on DVD in 2004 and later re-uploaded to YouTube in 2009. The video is now one of the most widely discussed clips in the creepy YouTube category. And me personally, I remember seeing this growing up and it scared the shit out of me. But who is Tara? As her name suggests, she is literally an android and not a human actor dressed up as a mannequin. The video of her singing was originally circulated in the form of a DVD until some people uploaded it onto the internet. The most referenced one being uploaded by a user named CreepyBlog. I Feel Fantastic is actually a 3-minute excerpt of a longer set of videos called Android Music Videos Volume 1, which contains mostly similar videos, all containing Tara singing. This one specifically has her wearing a wig and woman's clothing, and its arms are jerking and head turning side to side, and perhaps the worst description of the human body language yet. The music isn't particularly great either, with the lyrics just being, "I feel fantastic, hey, hey, hey," and "run, run, run," repeated continuously over a synth line. She changes wigs and clothing throughout before abruptly cutting to a backyard or some kind of garden and zooming in and then cutting back to Tara singing. Apparently, there is a longer version of this video that reaches 15 whole minutes from the original DVD that is also supposed to be online somewhere. The artist behind this extremely strange video is John Bergenron, which we know by the original credits on the video. It was relatively unknown for 5 years until it was uploaded by CreepyBlog in April of 2009, which is when it became viral, as every compilation channel began including it in their top 10 creepiest videos. Several of these even added the longer versions, with them reaching over 1 million views, causing it to spread to other forums such as Reddit, where many users began to theorize on the video. The most popular theory is that the video was created by a serial killer who would dress up Tara in the clothes of his victims, and then the shots of the empty fields being the locations where the bodies of these victims were buried. Tara might have even killed her creator as John had not been heard from since around 2005. Another creepy theory is based on the description of the first YouTube post, which includes a cryptic reference to the Greek legend of Phygamion. And I know I completely butchered that, but I've tried this take about 15 times, so I'm going to leave it at that. Consider the mindscape of the creator. The description continues, in whose mind does this appear beautiful? In whose mind is this pure, near worshipful? Are we missing out on his perspective? Phygamion was a sculptor from ancient Greece who believed that all women were tainted and unworthy of love, so he was determined to remain celibate and occupy himself with sculpting. Because he believed that no ideal woman existed, he decided to sculpt her in ivory and made such a perfect sculpture that he instantly fell in love with her. He would kiss it and bring it various gifts, and even made a bed for it, the original incel. When Aphrodite's festival came, he made offerings to the goddess and quietly wished for a bride who would be the living likeness of my ivory girl. And when he returned home and kissed his ivory statue, he found that its lips felt warm. The sculpture had lost its hardness, and Aphrodite had granted his wish. Soon after, he married it or her now, and even had a daughter. So, what does this myth have to do with this creepy doll? Well, some people thought that Bergeron, the creator, had murdered a woman named Tara, who had failed to live up to his standard of perfection, so he then constructed a make-believe robot in her image and dressed it in her clothes and programmed her to sing for him to relieve his guilty conscience. This is ridiculous. Then he either uploaded a video to taunt viewers about the real Tara's fate, or because he felt tormented by his sick deed and subconsciously wanted to be caught. Thankfully, neither of these are very likely to be true, and little evidence exists for either of them. The real reason is much more practical. John describes the project as an attempt to create a performing android and market his android music videos, and maybe eventually even have live shows and tours for Tara. She was supposed to be for musical entertainment, not some kind of horror piece like you might think after seeing the video, and was made with about $2,000 worth of materials, with the ultimate goal of having her be the world's first android music star. A very interesting idea. He first sold the videos on a site called Android World, which he made himself, where he made the DVD copies available to order, and some collectors have reported receiving physical DVDs from their first orders with metadata indicating 2004 modification dates. In those DVDs, there were 5 short experimental music video style clips, including a song titled Please, which is the original name of the YouTube video I Feel Fantastic. Since 2006, there have been no updates, which set off a new set of theories like Tara becoming sentient and killing her creator. In reality, according to a comment on a Medium article on this topic, John had sadly passed away at his home on Friday, July 22nd, 2005. While this is unverified, it is the most probable explanation for why there has been no contact at all with John. He was just a man trying to bring life to his creations, and he definitely made an impact on the internet with his work, whether he knew it or not. Rest in peace, John Bergeron. Grave robbing for morons. On the 9th of August 2014, a video was uploaded to YouTube on the channel Simon Predge with the title Grave Robbing for Morons. This was pretty out of place for the channel that usually simply posted French videos about French media and entertainment since around 2009, but his About section clears things up slightly. Description: archives and provenance des VHS, and then a bunch of other, or just, it's in French, so I can't read it. And then the English translated version is description: archives from VHS, TV oddities, bizarre music videos, horror and exploitation movie trailers, educational VHS tapes. If it's weird, it's here. Seeing as this channel primarily posted French shows and music videos, it is pretty surprising as to why all of a sudden this Simon Predge decided to post a creepy old VHS tape from the late 80s. Whether it's real or not isn't entirely sure, but the human skull he holds up to the camera in the first 5 seconds looks pretty damn real to me. But to find out whether this is real or not, and what it was even made for, the origins of the tape are very important. This was created in what seems to be the late 80s or early 90s, as in the tape itself, a different VHS tape was seen in the background with the title Evil Dead 2, which was only released after 1987, but other than that, there's no other information for the dates. The video is pretty self-explanatory with the title Grave Robbing for Morons, and has an entire crew behind it: Anthony, Gino, Taco, and Pucci. While this sound like the names from an Italian mafia, the actual creator and or the narrator's identities are unknown. When it comes to the actual video, which runs for nearly half an hour, shows a young man clad in jeans and a leather jacket with his long black hair tied back in a ponytail, clutching a very dirty and very realistic looking human skull. The young man, most likely a teenager, is explaining the various methods he uses and endorses while robbing human bones from cemeteries. There are several factors that make this video particularly creepy. For one, it is shot on videotape, most likely by a VHS-C camcorder, which gives it this eerie, degraded, almost film quality. It's clearly a bootleg copied from another copy, causing analog generational loss. The kid in the video has hands that are caked in what looks like dirt or dried blood. He's sitting in a messy room in the middle of the night, staring right into your eyes as he talks about stealing body parts from crypts. As if that isn't creepy or disturbing enough, his monologue is peppered by his very strange stutter.
So let's say it's someone important, right? All right, so you take a sample of that mustache,
which
right?
causes his eyes to glaze over. However, this tape is not without its funny moments. At one point, he tells you to wear a jacket because it's cold in July.
So what you do is in around July when it's a little cold, you wear some nice warm gloves.
He also tells the viewer to be prepared to knock out or even kill anyone who stumbles upon you in the act because you can't leave any witnesses. Despite him showing his face in this instructional video, there are some people who believe this skull is fake for whatever reason. But the fact is this: no prop shop, especially in the late 1980s, was making fake skulls with that level of detail. The skull is matted with and stained by rotten flesh. It has a dental appliance screwed into it to facilitate top dentures, indicating it belonged to an elderly person. The skull also likely belonged to a woman. The ocular cavities are large with a small brow line, both indicative of a female skull. One part of the skull that is never talked about is the fact that it features an elongated styloid process bone, also known as Eagle syndrome, a condition that can occur in human beings after they experience a throat injury. Absolutely no one was faking skulls with that level of detail back then, and it could be argued that no one is doing that even now. The video is most likely shot in New York, more specifically, Long Island. The accent makes a strong case, although he also mentions that he's planning on robbing Harry Houdini's grave next, who's buried in Long Island. And surprise, surprise, Houdini's grave was in fact vandalized in 1993, which is very, very interesting, and I don't know how you want to put it, coincidental or by the man in the video. Despite all this information, however, to this day, almost 40 years later, there's still no verified ID of anyone involved in that video. And as realistic as it looks, it's still not entirely confirmed the video is realistic. But it's undeniable that it looks scarily real, and that there's almost no evidence that proves it's fake. Marina Joyce. Marina Joyce was one of your usual run-of-the-mill YouTubers back in 2016, capitalizing on whatever trend was popular. She decided to make videos on beauty and fashion. She was pretty young, around 19 at the time she made some of her most popular videos. She would try on outfits, do challenges, makeup tutorials, hair routines, day in the life, etc. Until one day, one of her videos seemed odd. In late July 2016, she posted a video which seemed just off. The camera work was off. The vibe as a whole was not what her videos usually were. A lot of people even noticed that they could hear her whispering, "Help me." She was very nervous, which made it look like she was being forced to make the videos against her will. This video was also filmed in her backyard, which was unusual to say the least, but began fueling rumors and conspiracies that she had even been kidnapped or something worse. Viewers claimed they could see marks on her arms in the video, some even claiming to see bruises. People online began using hashtag #SaveMarinaJoyce on Twitter, which ended up trending worldwide, with posts going viral on Twitter about the situation. As if this wasn't speculation enough, some fans began to rumor that she was being held hostage by ISIS. Yes, that ISIS. People noticed the slightest of things and blew it entirely out of proportion. They assumed that white thing was a script of some sort she was meant to be following, and scrutinized every millisecond of this video. At a certain point, they began questioning the blinds on her window, assuming they were bars. Over 136,000 followers began practically begging the local police to check out the situation after Marina invited them all to visit her at Bethnal Green for a meet and greet in the very early morning. Fearing this was bait for an attack or something like that, many followers warned others against going there or even just intervening. Please, do not go to Marina's meetup. Stay well clear and do not go to this meetup. Let police handle this. Eventually, the police released a statement confirming she was safe, followed by Marina tweeting herself later that day, #SaveMarinaJoyce. I'm totally fine, guys. I'm feeling very good today, and it's actually so heartwarming to see so many people care about me. People began speculating even further, and so with the police stating themselves that there were no issues found, people began rumoring that she was under the influence of drugs. They knew she went to raves where drugs are easily found and used, and were beginning to wonder if drug abuse was the issue. Now that the fear of her being under the control of someone else or being forced to do these things had been dispelled, she obviously denied these allegations and instead claimed that the changes were due to her finding religion rather than drug use. I realized I have to be smart about every move I make. I am only used to having 600,000 subscribers, which is quite a lot, but not to having so many people pay so much attention to everything I do. I thought I was okay in the video. Every video I make, I try to be as normal as possible. She says, I promise that I'm not doing drugs. I really care about my viewers, and that's the reason why I don't take drugs. I go to raves, but they are drug-free raves. The places I go to aren't places where you can do those sort of things. When asked about a perceived change in her personality in recent videos, she simply said that she'd become both a Christian and a Buddhist. I became a Christian, and because I had this whole spiritual quest in my life, I'm a Buddhist now, she says. It scared people off, and because of that, people thought I'd changed, but I realized I shouldn't have done that to my viewers. Fears were also raised about bruises seen on Marina's body in recent videos, but she easily explained those away as well. She fell over in the woods. I bruised quite easily. I had quite a fall. I like to go adventuring in the park. While this answer wasn't very convincing, there wasn't any proof otherwise, so fans accepted it, and the story was over. At least, that's what everyone thought. In August of 2019, a missing person appeal was filed by the police for Marina. She was reported missing on August 7th, having been last seen on July 31st. Her last video was uploaded much before that, having been posted on June 21st, a hair care video. By now, it'd become a sort of trope that her videos would generally have an odd or off-putting vibe to them, with people still speculating that she was being forced to make her content, rather than doing it willingly. Eventually, she was found, and once again confirmed to be safe and well. Since then, she's allegedly suffered from depression and continues to make videos, although their popularity has decreased significantly. Just a very, mysterious situation altogether. Meat Sleep. Among the many unsettling corners of YouTube, the Meat Sleep channel, as well as its later reincarnation, Kit, occupies a unique place. Strange visuals, unexplained deletions, and the channel's mysterious creator have made it one of the most enduring enigmas in YouTube history. In early 2014, Meat Sleep began uploading a series of short, strange videos that quickly went viral among forums such as 4chan, Reddit, and other discussion boards. They had no order or chronology to them. Instead, they were a series of fragmented visuals, distorted audio, and flickering frames. Some titles were written in almost undecipherable symbols, while others were written in completely different languages. For example, one title was Integrated, a 52-second long clip that is barely comprehensible. Although these uploads were not exactly promoted, word of mouth brought Meat Sleep to broader attention, and communities began to form, dedicated to figuring out the secret behind it. Keep in mind, this was the era where creepypasta was at its peak and people could not resist the alluring nature of these consistently eerie videos that felt like it had something more behind it. It did not go viral immediately. Instead, it spread slowly as users dissected every frame. Furthermore, Meat Sleep would delete these videos sometimes very quickly, so there was always a sense of urgency behind it, to at least archive it before it disappeared forever. Intriguingly, a second channel appeared at the same time, Kin. Records confirm that Kin existed by March of 2014, roughly when Meatskin started uploading. The style of these videos was unmistakably the same as Meat Sleep. The editing, the design, and visuals were nearly identical, leading to the conclusion that they were somehow interlinked at the very least. The proof came when Meat Sleep re-uploaded some of these videos from Kin under slightly altered titles, such as Circle, which suggests that Kin could have been a testing ground for Meat Sleep or a secondary project. Unfortunately, the lifespan of this channel was extremely brief. Kin lasted for less than a month, and by late March 2014, the account was deleted. As Meat Sleep continued its cycle of uploading and deleting, most of the catalog could only be found in mirrors, which meant that no one had the full project and no one really knew if such a thing even existed. All this contributed to internet sleuths being dedicated to solving it, and as the videos grew more and more disturbing, people wanted to know who was behind it all. In the end, people were harassed and even stalked in real life, including a woman who was doxxed as some detectives thought she was the person behind the horror shows. Several videos were even reported to the FBI and Anonymous, the hacktivist collective. For example, a video titled Walk in the Park, which shows what appears to be a real fatal crime scene. Obviously, this resulted in some legal action, and soon all the remaining videos of the Meat Sleep channel were deleted, and a final video was uploaded, titled No More. It was basically a message to their fans that cleared things up and put an end to this project. Enough. Kin. 2 countries, 3 participants. Meat Sleep. 4 continents, 8 countries, 11 participants. With regular Skype meeting, a simple system for decisions, a dice. Who delivers raw video? Whom rolls? 3. Ties and no rolls settled same fashion. Who will create audio? Whom rolls 4. Ties and no rolls settled same fashion. Who completes videos with editing? Whom rolls 5. Ties and no rolls settled same fashion. Sometimes a rolls happen. Several sources must be used. Restriction of filming subjects, audios, editing, all constrained by similar algorithms with the dice. Story of Meat Sleep and Kin was created by viewers' speculations. You have been the directors. A simple system for decisions of story. A rumor read in your discussions. We present the rumor to the group. Rumor claims X. Roll a dice. Even roll means express anger against rumor X. Odd roll means encourage that rumor X. Decisions and action can change many times based on dice. Pick X, ban X. Roll, allow back X roll. Pick any person from the internet. Even means no, odd means yes. Meat sleep is a gender? Odd roll yes, even roll no. Male, even number, female, odd number. Meat sleep is a cannibal. Odd yes, even no. Cannibalist, R word, kidnapper, oddball, etc., etc., etc. Encourage, discourage based on our dice. But now there is real life harassment, stalking, abuse, rudeness to people as resulting from this channel. Sad to say, a fun thing made to be fun and enjoyed. Sad to say you made it ugly. Please stop bothering people about this channels. For the victims of the harassment, we are sorry. You did not deserve these. We did not intend these. All of you please stop. You ruined things. Enough. This is over. Stop. Sadly, in 2021, the Twitter account associated with this project, Sonkin, posted a tragic update. With much sadness, the person central to Sonkin/Meat Sleep has died this week. The best of the channel was hers, and she was the best of us. She had been subjected to many cruelties for most of her life. Still, she managed to find light, kindness, and good in herself, which she shared with those she encountered. The thread continues. Friend or stranger, she tolerated no mistreatment of people. Regardless the cost to her safety or well-being, she intervened in every injustice she witnessed, and sometimes it cost her plenty. Good night, dear Bone. Make nice dreams. Forever in our hearts. 9 long years since the project was first released. It is clear to see that it made a long-lasting impact in the subculture of creepypasta fiction and ARGs. Meat Sleep created a genuinely dread-inducing piece of work that shows an extremely talented artist behind it. Rest in peace. Bone. Username 666. At first glance, username 666 looks like just another strange short clip. But when it was uploaded by Nana825763 in 2008, it quickly became the subject of endless speculation. Its creator, known as Pyropito, is still credited today with one of the internet's most recognizable disturbing uploads. It was basically a screen capture of some user trying to make sense of what happened to their computer when they made their way to what looked like a possessed or demonic version of YouTube. We see them manually add the number 666 to the YouTube URL, which usually takes the user to the channel whose name is whatever they added to the end. Here they see a screen saying account suspended. Pretty normal, right? However, after the user refreshes about 13 times, things start to change. First, the thumbnails disappear, replaced by broken images, and the file names are all changed, all to 666. Then, as they keep refreshing the page, more things change until the whole site turns into a demonic red version. Curious, they keep on clicking on weird videos with disturbing subjects, but soon they lose control of the site entirely. Their back button doesn't work, they can't exit the browser, and they can't even shut it down. The desktop background blurs to form some kind of hairy thing, and the noises increase, odd and unsettling. Eventually, a thumping sound starts as if someone from another world is trying to leave the screen. A face appears, a person trying to escape, waiting to be let out. The video is dated to be around the mid to late 2010s, and since then, the video has accumulated over tens of millions of views across mirrors and channels, and widely documented in internet lore and fan wikis as one of the earliest examples of creepypasta. There's another video by the same artist, uploaded shortly after in 2010, and somehow it's more disturbing than its predecessor. Back in the early days of YouTube, there was a section on the platform called TestTube, where there were experimental features that the user could try out, and that could potentially be added in the future for YouTube, but most often not. It's still there, except it has a different name and is locked behind a premium subscription. Yes, you have to pay to test for them. Back in the video, when our narrator scrolls down the TestTube page, they see something different. Below all these standard features, there's a button for something called Another YouTube, with the description being just warning. Of course, they click on it to find that their whole screen has turned into some sort of hellish version of YouTube. All the thumbnails are some weird, distorted version of fire, and you can make out some figures that don't look like they are enjoying it very much. After clicking on a few videos which look very much like the ones we saw in the previous username 666 video, our narrator once again decides to quit. Once again, it doesn't let them. Pop-ups began appearing showing some truly disturbing things for sale, of course at $6.66, and then a window suddenly pops up. It's live footage of them, the narrator, captured directly through their webcam. Nothing works, they can't close the window or go back to the original window or shut down their computer, and in the end they pull the plug straight out of the wall and then the screen goes dark. The video ends. In the finale to this bizarre trilogy of videos, there is one final video, which was uploaded almost 7 years later on March 15th, 2017. This one is titled Secret Door, with capital T and capital R at the end of each word, and is the shortest video of them all, lasting only 1 minute and 24 seconds. This time, the video is filmed on an actual camera, and isn't a screen capture or screen recording. The narrator is trying to watch a YouTube video only to find that video does not exist. Then they say that they'll switch to Netflix before changing their mind again to stay on YouTube and watch Toon Catastrophes, Cartoon Cat Song, featuring CG5 and Anna Pantsu, which is actually a real video. As they move their cursor to the search bar, they notice that when they pass over the bottom of the header, it moves, very slightly. Confused, he passes it over again. It moves up again. So he keeps pushing it up until there's a new header, almost like the ones in the previous 2 videos. When he clicks on the logo, the whole page turns into the same grimy, hellish visual. Then it cuts out. This trilogy is one of the earliest examples of creepypasta and web-based horror art, at least the first 2 videos anyway. The artist, Pyro Pito, creates short animation clips, mixing experimental visuals and sometimes deliberately unsettling imagery. He said they work up to 2 to 3 weeks on these clips, starting even before YouTube became popular, posting as entries to video festivals and online competitions. He was around 19 or 20 around the time he created these videos, and therefore would be about 38 or 39 by now. Since then, he has continued making weird videos like these, all sharing a common color palette, and it's usually very red and very grimy and dirty and moist. He is now even making a game based on this same universe that he created called Metaphysical Region, which is not out yet, but he hopes to put out a demo sometime this year. He also does live streams every week about the game, so if you are interested, definitely check it out. Username 666 is from the very beginnings of Pyro Pito's career and YouTube itself, and it remains a very influential piece of art inspiring countless other similar works. Now, when you see this, you might think that this is kind of cliche or overused, but back then, when it was first uploaded, it was very, very scary and mysterious because people had no idea whether it was real or not.